Alright, I have found a way to bring my foot up here. Just about like so. Alright, so now we can talk a little bit about how we do tension with the tensioning rod here. Tensioning rod, in this case, being my foot. But you'll notice, hold on. That's better. Alright, the whole thing about tension with this weave here, in my opinion, it's really about just keeping your fingers in the right place. So I almost always have one or both of my pointer fingers between the top and the bottom cords as I weave here. That's a habit that I picked up from my other weaves, and it's one that serves me really, really well here. I'm not going to talk too much about the process as I'm going through and weaving here, but I am going to show you sort of how I do this. You'll notice I'm doing the weaving with my other fingers. I'm keeping my pointer fingers in between these cords here. And I'm going to swap my hands over, pull those through, and we're going to go ahead and do that swap so my fingers can stay stable. Go through. And pull so my fingers can stay stable. And now I've got all of my cords being held in place by basically these two fingers here. I'm pinching this bottom set, and I can now have the ability to make my adjustments with one hand, and I'm going to swap and make adjustments with the other hand here. I'm going to pull this gently. Pull that gently so it's nice and even. There you go. And we're going to pull on these other cords, like so. There you go, like that. And now I can do my under over. I'm gonna make this first swap. Put my finger there to keep it steady. Do my second swap. Put my finger there to keep it steady. I'm actually gonna switch this one over to this hand, and then we're gonna give things a tug. I know it looks like I'm over tightening just a little bit. I might be. It's all right. We're gonna give it space to breathe in just a second. There we go. And now we sort of let that loosen up just a smidge. It'll untighten itself just a little bit, kind of naturally on its own. I'm gonna bring these through. Keep my fingers in the shed here. Over. And before we swap them over, we'll do my interlacing here. Pull this through. Push it off to the side. Like so. Go through. Give those a tug, and you'll notice that again I'm sort of swapping which finger is where. As I'm going, I'm swapping hands so that I can use the appropriate hand for the work. But in all cases, I've got at least one finger, and I'm pinching these bottom cords pretty, not tightly, but that's what I'm holding on to. I'm really holding on to these bottom cords, and these top cords are just sort of hanging out there. They're held in place with my thumb, but I'm not holding very tight, honestly. And I'm going to swap over so that I can use my other hand to sort of do this tension adjustment here, like so. There you go. So that's how I keep the tension on a God's Eye weave. I know a lot of folks struggle with this one. But I hope that you will find that you are able to put some fingers in the shed. Shed being the space between the top chords and the bottom chords. Put some fingers in the shed, and you should be well on your way. You may find that you work better if you put your thumb in it and then do all the other work there. You might prefer your middle finger there. I have learned to use my forefinger there. That's what works best for me. So I highly recommend, as I always do, that you play around with what sort of technique helps you do the work that you want to do. And you'll figure something out. Give it a try, play with it, maybe make sort of a small piece like this, and give it a shot, see what works. I highly recommend keeping a finger of some kind between the shed though. Like, if you have a finger in the shed, so again, something between your top chords and your bottom chords, the shed just being the space between the chords. Get a finger in there and you have a way to hold on to everything else. You're going to be pretty well served.